Hello, it's Tanisha, Girl Meets Glass. So, today I want to talk to you about something a little bit different. I get a lot of questions all the time when you all see me out in the street, or if you've done a wine tasting or a tour with me, or even just my DMs. You have a lot of questions about wine that I haven't seemed to answer yet. So, why not me answer your questions in video form, like now? So, I have my cards here. I'm going to answer some of your most asked questions, okay? Number one, why does wine cost so much? Because people want to make money? No, but seriously, wine costs a lot because there are a lot of factors into it. Factor number one, especially if you're getting something from Europe, you have to take into account the changing of the labels to a different language, customs, taxes, the currency exchange, all of that goes into play. Then there's also supply and demand, especially as wine gets older. Of course, there are fewer bottles of a 1985 wine than there are like a 2015. Then, if we're talking America, there's the 3-tier system. In this system, everyone has their hand out. So, for a wine to come from, say, France to get to America, you have the importer, then you have the distributor or wholesaler, then you have the retailer. Then the wine can come to you. All of those people have their hand out. They all want money. So each one of them tack on their fees, their charges, whatever, so they can make their money too. So a wine that maybe I pay €7 for here in France, unfortunately, you in Idaho, it's probably going to cost you $25 to $30. So what you can do is just come to France, take a tour with me, and then we'll get you some of the €7 wine. Okay? Next question. How long to keep a bottle of wine after opening? Why are you keeping it after you open it? You should be drinking it, right? Just kidding. I can't finish mine in one night either. What you should do, once you open it, here's a trick that I use. If you save those salsa jars or spaghetti sauce jars, put it in there, but make sure it's just a little bit of space left between the actual wine and the jar. This is like one of my tricks here. Make sure the jar is clean though, not like with you just finished the spaghetti sauce. Put the wine in there because the reason that wine doesn't last long is because that air gets to it and it oxidizes. That's the problem. Now, if you think you're going to drink it in the next 2 to 3 days, it's perfectly fine in the bottle. Put the cork back in it and you're fine. Now, you can get those cool little gadgets that you put the top on and pump all the air out and do all of that. If you want, those work as well. And that might make your wine last up to, say, a week. But after that, you're probably going to be tired of it anyway. Yes? So, if you can't drink it within 2 or 3 days, I say try the jar, spaghetti or salsa, because those are the sizes that are smaller than the wine bottle. Okay. Now, if it's never been opened, you can keep it for however long you want. Now, depending on the year, depending on the region, it may not be better. That's something you'd have to research on your own because that's different for every bottle, region, grape, all of that kind of thing. But I will tell you, make sure you store it on its side, not straight up, okay? You need the wine to always be in contact with the cork so the cork won't dry out. Next question. Ideal wine temperature. I get this question a lot because everyone says room temperature, it must be room temperature. You know, this room temperature thing came from back in the day, in the old time, where there wasn't like central air or central heating. And room temperature is actually cellar temperature, which is underground, like a basement. You know your basement is cooler than the rest of your house. So room temperature is actually cool. So your wine should be cooled, red and white. Here's a trick I use. For red wines, put them in the refrigerator 20 minutes before I want to drink it, then pull them out. They're ready to enjoy. White wines, if I've had them in the refrigerator already, I pull them out 20 minutes before I want to drink them. That way, the temperature comes down a little. Most people serve their red wines too warm and their white wines too cold. So, the 20-minute trick, that'll fix that. Next question. Why is wine stored on its side, or how should wine be stored? Well, it should be stored on its side. And like I said before, it should be stored on its side so that the wine is always in contact with the cork. This helps the cork to not dry out. If the cork dries out, the problem is air can get in, wine can get out. You don't want that at all. Once air gets in, that's when oxidation happens. And when you open your bottle and you're like, this is not good, this tastes old, because the cork is too dry and air got in it. And now your bottle is kind of ruined. So don't store it upright for long periods of time. Also, don't store it in direct light. Don't store it in like your garage, because the vibrations of your car coming in and out, wine doesn't like that. The constant temperature fluctuations from your car coming in, heating up the garage, then the garage cooling down, that happens to the wine too. So if you are not fortunate enough to have a cellar, put your wine under your bed, put it in a closet somewhere cool and dark and very still. Not the top of your refrigerator. Because did you know your refrigerator vibrates? Not good for wine either. Okay. A question I get a lot is this next one. And honestly, I had the same question myself. And how I actually got into wine, well, that's a whole long story, but how I got into wine was because I asked a winemaker, do you add flavors to the wine? Why does this wine taste like this? I get raspberry and cherry and strawberry. How does this happen? Well, I can go into the whole chemistry behind that. That's not what you want to hear. Just know it naturally occurs. You know, wine comes from grapes, and grapes can take on the flavor of the soil, if there's any oak, if they do any other additives, the amount of sunlight, the amount of rainfall, those flavors are naturally occurring. It isn't necessarily, oh, they also grow strawberries next to the grapes, like I initially thought. And they don't pour cherry juice in to ferment with the grapes either. That's also not a thing. Long answer shorter, it is naturally occurring. Chemistry. If you are a chemist, then feel free to comment on this video, okay? And then you can let us know the whole process. But that's the short answer for you. Are corks better than screw caps? It depends on who you talk to and what you're trying to do. My 2 cents on this, because this is my video, so I can give it. I don't think one is better than the other. They both serve their own purpose. Now, if there's a wine that is older or a wine that I want to age, then I'm still team cork. I feel like you need a cork. I feel like just the things that happen with the cork, with the air being able to come in, air being able to get out, I need that. Also, real talk, this is between us here. If I'm spending $75, $100, euros on a bottle of wine, I'm really going to need a cork to come out of it, okay? If the sommelier comes to the table and is like, ma'am, your wine, and unscrews it, no. That's not what I want. So, but if I'm having a picnic with my girls, or I'm out on, the river, just chilling, backyard barbecue, unscrew it, definitely. Screw cap, not a problem. How do you select a good bottle? This one, how do you select a good bottle? It depends on what you want. Now, not saying that to be flip, like, well, it depends. No, it really does. There's so many factors. It's the temperature outside, the season. What is your mood for the day? What are you eating? Is there a special occasion? Where are you shopping for this good bottle of wine? Is it for you to drink by yourself? Is it for you to share with someone? Take all of those factors into consideration for a good bottle. Also, I really suggest to everyone, get a wine shop, okay? Go to a wine shop. If you are looking for a special bottle for a special occasion, or even just a certain or particular occasion, going to the grocery store is fine. And if that's what you need to do because you're picking up your dinner or your whatever, fine. But if you want to get some advice and ask some questions, definitely go to a wine shop. You have a person there that knows their inventory, they know the regions, they know what they bought, and they can better assist you and help you out to get you the wine that you actually want, which would be a good bottle. Wine labels are confusing. How do I read them? Okay. Wine labels can be confusing. The way you read them is it differs from French to Italy to Germany, but they'll usually have the region on the label. They will have the name of the winery. You'll have the year. Then on the back, they may have the blend of the grapes. They may have some other information about some flowery language of what it tastes like or what kind of soil it grows in. But what you really want to pay attention to is the region that it's from. It may say France, it may say Germany, it may say Italy on the front. But no, most of those will not have the grape. I think that's where people get confused. France and Italy specifically, they don't say the grape on the front of the label. They say the region where it comes from. So you might have to do a little digging. Google will be your friend in this. If it says Bordeaux, then you can Google Bordeaux and see what the grapes are and then figure that out. Okay? Why do you swirl and slurp wine for a tasting? Well, one, you can watch my tasting steps video and you can get the real lowdown on how that works. But for this video, you swirl and slurp because you want to know what the wine tastes like so you can better pair it with food. Just like you know what ketchup tastes like, so you know what food you will put ketchup on. Like ketchup goes great with fries, but ketchup may not be good on, say, rice. But yet soy sauce would be good on rice, but soy sauce is not quite so good on fries. So you know the flavor of that already. So you taste wine so you can understand the flavors, how it works, if you like it, then also to better pair it with your food. So that's why we do that. Also the swirl and slurp, that's so more oxygen comes in contact with the wine. And from there you can get more aromas and more flavors. So then you can pair it with your food. You see, we're all going back to food. Are you getting hungry? My favorite wine and why? This is probably the most popular question after selecting a good bottle. My favorite wine depends on what day it is, what time it is. So right now, while I'm recording this video, my favorite wine is probably rosé because it is warm and, well, warm outside. And rosé is nice and light. It's a good balance between white and red. It has the acidity I like. It has a lot of fruit. And I could serve it chilled with ice or without. And for those of you that want to judge me, sometimes I put ice in my rosé. There, I said it. If you want to put ice in your rosé, it's fine. Do what you want. You bought the bottle. Live your life. So yes, I put ice in my rosé and it's delicious. Okay. Now, where does this rosé come from? Anywhere. I have some rosés from Bordeaux, some from Provence, from Cassis, from Languedoc. Of course, they're French. I mean, I live in France. This is what they have. So you get your rosé from everywhere. The best, of course, people say Provence, but I think that's the one that's most widely available. But the best one, think about the red grapes that you like and get a rosé from those red grapes. Okay? If I have not answered your questions or a question that you have, feel free to email me. My email is in the comments. My web address, you know, girlmeetsglass.com. Sign up for my newsletter where I answer questions there as well. Hopefully this video helped you. If it didn't, well, you know it did. Stop playing. But thank you so much for watching this video. Sign up for the newsletter, subscribe to my channel. You know all that good stuff that people say at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. It's Tanisha, Girl Meets Glass. Till next time.